Is one of the truths that we are fundamentally always alone? We suffer alone.
Yes.
Thank you.
That's a good question, and it is absolutely correct.
But I want financial freedom, but at the same time, I'm comfortable right now at my spot. That's the reason I don't have financial freedom. But at the same time, like, there's nothing that you really can't do nothing about it. But at the same time, I really want it, but I don't know. But that's where I kind of get stuck. But I want to get understanding of certain type of questions.
Well, generally, people, when they want, they don't find themselves pursuing it, it's because it would be nice to have, and the desire is not visceral. That's why these things happen.
Are you free?
It is impossible to answer that question because the vessel that you ask to put water in has holes in it. Therefore, you don't have a clear understanding of what freedom is. Therefore, the language with which I answer the question, though it may be English.
Is it possible to sincerely seek guidance without masking a desire for an actual ask for prescription?
Well, I think it's important to understand, and it would be perhaps some degree of relief to understand for some, that there should not be any shame in the fact that all that one has in their arsenal is to ask for prescriptions. When that is the only thing that you have ever heard of, and that is the only thing that you've ever been taught, and that is the only language that you've ever been exposed to in your entire life, which is basically everybody, then what else can you possibly ask for other than a prescription? I have clients who I've been working with for years and years, and even they have to stop themselves. Not that they should stop themselves, but they stop themselves because they have recognized after years the futility. Despite them having masked in their asking, they have asked questions without using the word how to, so that it wouldn't come across as a prescription, even though it was exactly looking for a prescription. So everyone will do it because that is all they know. And so long as one understands that, then they can move away from any type of hesitancy they have towards it and not ask it, but to recognize that that's why they are where they are, is because of the conditioning of society. And having recognized that, this gives them a new beginning, to begin to understand the futility of prescriptions and not turn no prescriptions into some rule to follow, but to genuinely look behind it to see why that is the case, as opposed to just making that some ideal to live up to.
May I ask a follow-on?
Mm-hmm.
Through various circumstances, I've seen through to an emptiness of pursuit, but I don't have a deep enough understanding, and it feels like a holding pattern, or it's not exactly the right word. I don't see places where I can find an understanding, because the language that I would use for this place doesn't seem familiar, and it doesn't seem like there are people in my sphere in any case who, I don't even mean individuals in my personal life. I don't know the vocabulary to move through this place. Not that it's about words. I'm not sure if I'm expressing myself well.
If you're looking for understanding, it would perhaps benefit you to read through all of my work and podcasts and books and whatever you could find, and because all of the things that I write are from a place of understanding and non-prescribing, and they aren't good, and they aren't healthy, and it isn't proper, and no, you shouldn't do it. If you feel compelled to, you may. But they're prescription free, and therefore the well from which they arise tend to lead the human being back to themselves, back to their true nature. So that exposure, perhaps, I'm not saying that it will, it may perhaps be a benefit to you if understanding is what you truly seek.
You're talking about how consequence is what creates this feeling of fear in us, and how if a player enters, let's say, a golf competition without the desperation to win, then he just plays it to play it, and there's no fear anymore. One thing that I'm sort of conflicted with, I'm conflicted with that sort of truth versus if the desire to win is so strong, then you would do whatever it takes to win. So those two things seem contradictory to me. So I'm trying to sort of figure that out.
The very fact that one is trying to get away from fear is a problem. The very fact that one is desperately trying to win is also a problem, because both are chases. So things must be seen from a much more fundamental stance, as opposed to the precise topic itself. Look more fundamentally and understand that the things that you're talking about are just details. Fundamentally, they're chases. And it absolutely doesn't mean that you can't win and you can't be free of fear. But if you chase those things, then it does mean that those things will either elude you, or even if you manage to grasp them, they will not last.